Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So I'm starting the second video for today, the 18th of October 2025 from Sibiu, where I left off with the first one. I want to post only two today, just so you know. I am in Sibiu. I left it here in the Piazza Amica, the small square, and I'm going to travel to the big square through that tunnel over there. That's going to get me to the center of the town, the medieval town. This is the upper town, the lower town. You go over there down those stairs and you go to the lower town. You find that in the video I made earlier. The subject of this video is these guys did not change their ability to lie. The problem is they're lying smoother right now, which is they are more hypocrite than they were when the communists were. And that is not because of the communists, it's because of the human nature that I'm talking about. Because in the name of communism and creating a certain kind of society, these guys censored. They allowed, some people decided what you are allowed to hear and what you're not allowed to hear. If you remember in the communist time, when the communism was in the Eastern Europe, allowed by the free world to exist, the Western world, the free world, was bashing the communists, saying that, see, there's no freedom of speech over there, like in our side of the world. Well, it was just a mirage. It's no different now than it was then. Here is you go into the lower city through the little opening over there, and there are some stairs going down. Usually smell of urine over there, but it's interesting to go beautiful here. That's how you entered. This was made like a fortress, not like a fortress. And here is the, let me see, right here. This was to be doors you can't access here, but that's the lower city. This is the upper city. And it's a lot of little Piazza Aurarilor. That's the, how do you call it? Goldsmiths, not the goldsmiths market or square. And here is the, all kind of stairs. You go pak, 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 chuk, 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 pok, pok, pok. And here is the old, right there. Trying to get a better angle because it's vaulted and it's very nice. And here used to be probably the door you cannot get into that. So I'm gonna go back into the small market from the Piazza Aurarilor, the goldsmiths. Oh, here is an old wooden beam right over there. I can't show you, but there's two, one on top of the other. Those are the original freaking beams. Guarantee you that. This is you see how it was built on one level. From here you see the second level, there you see bricks and so on. It's just different times. All right, what do we have? So I tried to access Sputnik today in order to get more information, maybe get the other side of the story. I don't want just to see what these guys allow me to see through Yahoo or Google or whatever you might use. So I said, like I always have the same, not always, because sometimes I go from the Russians to the Ukrainians to the Americans to the Brits to Germans. I'm an open opportunity information. I pick everything I can because, you know, they tell the truth by completing one another in their lies. In this case, I tried to access Russia Today, and it said that you can't access it. It's very sneaky. The first thing it says that the site could be corrupted, and it gives you two options, and you select one of the options, and one of the options you get to exactly you cannot because of the European Union's policy. So the Romanians blocked it because of the European Union's policy. So you cannot access. Sputnik just says that you can't access it. Sputnik, that's it. Russia Today, it says you can't because of the European Union orders. So When I was in the communist times, I mean, I can't live here. I mean, I can, but it's gonna be bad. In the communist times, remember, that's by the West, done by the West. In communist times, the West pointed the finger at the communists because the communists will not allow the poor Romania get informed. This gets you into the big square. Small square, big square. Now we're gonna go to the other one, it's nicer, I would say. So now they show it, they still consider themselves the free world, but they do the exact thing. They, remember, a human being is telling another human being, you cannot read that. And they talk about the Nazis burning communist and other garbage books, because again, they tell you half of the story. When the evil Nazis burned books, they burned certain books, and what kind of books? I'm against burning books, just so you know. I'm against doing that. Let people be fooled. Let people fool themselves, screw themselves according to their abilities. I disagree with the government or other people, because government is people. Some people determining what other people go into the small and the big market, big square. Another person decides what you can watch and listen to as an adult, but you're in a free world. These guys are so hypocritical. This is a small square. So hypocritical. The communists did the same thing, said the same thing. We are the good ones, and we're gonna censor you. You cannot listen to Voce America, the Voice of America, or the Radio Free Europe, Europa Libera. Here is how you get into this tower. I think it's open. Turnus Fatuli. I was Jesus Christ, made in 12th century. And here is how you enter. I think cash only. They want cash for me, but you know how I am with money. All right, so these are right there. See my shoes? Okay. And you see how they are curved? I don't try to, these guys may come and tell me something like curve from walking. There you go. And you go like that. Now, do you know why they were made usually like that? Because if you want to go up with a sword, you have to hit like that instead of hitting like that. And like this is easier now to strike like this than to strike like that. So you go up and you have to strike like that. And the guy from the other side is going to strike you back in the regular way. So I'm going to get out of this and go into the big square. So what bothers me is the hypocrisy. This used to be full of urine here in the communist times. And when I was a young boy, you could, one car was going that way, the other cars were going the other way. Now they blocked it, and only certain authorized cars can go, or if you live in the area. You can, as a foreigner, especially coming from North America, every corner has something to tell you here. Every corner, besides the urine aspect of it. Now I'm going to show you something. Let me see if I can get there. I don't think I can get. The entrance is through that door. Here it used to be, this is Gheorghe Lazar, a Romanian intellectual and patriot. And this is an ugly, ugly, ugly sculpture of him. Compare this poor little Romanian with Baronul Brucantel over there. I want you to go in the previous video and see that beautiful sculpture of the German baron and a Romanian poor little fucking peasant right here. Great fuckers. And this is in Romania. Who the fuck did this? Who the fuck did this? You can't even see it, how horrible it is. How horrible it is. It's horrible. Look at those fingers. In what kind of, is it like, what the fuck is that spatula over there? Horrible. Horrible. But this is Romania for you. So the original, it was another one, the original one was taken from here and placed in a little market there. It's still there, but I can't enter. I can't remember which one. I used to go through one there. These are private houses. So you have to go through somehow. I went, when I was younger, when I was informed about the existence of the original one. Oh, maybe I can go over there and show you the... No, I can't. They close it. You have to, they build this restaurant bar, and let's see if I can enter the... No, you can't go over there. Anyway, I know I tried some other time and I couldn't. So it bothers me, the hypocrisy that we call ourselves here the good West, the free world is what bothers me with the free world, and somehow Russia is not in a free world, but these guys are doing, how should I put it, at least as bad as they are doing over there. It's just a hypocritical, how do you call it, matrix. That's what it is, my friends. They tell you something and actually it's totally different. So I couldn't access, now I can, because, you know, with the help of a VPN you can do shit. But it's, remember, if a person is in charge of what you say, or what you think, or what you can read, you're a slave. That's what you are. You are a slave. And we eat, we consume, whatever we do, and actually we are not free people, my friends. Not at all. Not at all. The moment you destroy the status quo, and the question is, what is the status quo? Why are we supposed to... Why are you supposed to keep quiet about things? Why are you supposed to not be able? A lot of pigeons here. You stay and feed them. Why are we banned? Why are we? What's the status quo? Remember, it can't be freedom. It can't be liberty. It couldn't be the truth. Because if that would be you defend the truth, certain things are self-evident. As I always say about democracy, when these guys in America say, well, we have to protect democracy, or in Germany, we have to protect democracy, we have to defend it. By what? How do you defend it? If it's self-evident that it's good for human societies, why is it that you have to protect it? Like, we have to protect you from, we have to protect eating. What do you mean you have to protect eating? Isn't eating something that we all know it's desirable? Here is a German bookstore with the German flag over there. I like the German flag, but unfortunately the Germans fucked themselves. And I think there was over there a Romanian bookstore. No more. Well, at least they have theirs. Remember when they say here that this was a town and it was made by the Germans, invented by the Germans, put together by the creator, how you want to call it. It's true, it came as Villa Hermann from Saxon immigrants. They were allowed to immigrate here in southern Transylvania. But we have the Romans here before them. We have the Dacians before them. And they were not first here, that's my point. And neither were the Hungarians, just so you know, if we go by that, and whatever the Hungarians are. Because they claim they are out of the Hungarian tribes, and one tribe, the Magyar tribe, the nobility. That's why they call themselves Magyars and not Hungarians. And that's why their country is called Magyarország, not Hungaroország. If you look, their origin is Turcic. It's Asian. When the first writings and paintings about them, they looked very much Mongolish. But they look, if I bring here a Hungarian and I let him roam, you're not gonna see a difference. Why? Because they probably have other DNA in their Magyarország. They're not what they were. Nevertheless, that's a point against their statement, the Romanians are not the Dacians, the Romanians are not Romans. Well, our DNA still says Latin. No, I mean, I'm exaggerating, of course. It's a lot of mixture in DNA. You're not going to find much purity anymore through migration, forced migration and others. But let's go back here. So I'm walking back through the main street, going to, we just had a challenge, me and a guy. That's what we do in Romania, that guy, the big guy over there, yeah. He was looking like this to me, and I was looking like that to him, and I wanted him to take his eyes off of me. That's what you do here, you challenge. Here, locking eyes with men is not love, it is challenging, I'm gonna fuck you up. In Eastern European culture anyway, you find that everywhere in Eastern European. Oh, here is Zelensky. I saw him before. Here he is, making balloons. So, anyway, this is in culture here. You don't lock eyes, and if you take your eyes, you avoid confrontation, but I didn't want to avoid confrontation. And you're considered weak. And I don't want to be weak. I want to be what I am and how I am, and let others assess that. So, here, my friends, this is the free world for you. In Europe, that's all. That's two. Oh, by the way, I could access Ukrainska Pravda. Remember, those guys banned Russian media, and not only. They banned certain religious denominations, certain ethnic parties, ethnic mass media, but they are democracies and they're part of the free world. We are helping them. We're defending them against the evil Russians. I could, as I said, access Ukrainska Pravda. I could access Ukrinform, Kiev Independent, and New Voice of Ukraine. All these four are Ukrainian media. I even could access Al Jazeera. You know what that tells you? If you can access Al Jazeera and it's not banned, when I start here I will tell you, but you can't access Russia Today and Sputnik, that tells you either Al Jazeera is not dangerous and could not be dangerous maybe because maybe it's owned, right? Oh, look at that, like I have a crown, like a hair, like a medieval hair. This used to be the biggest pacha cinema in town, the biggest one. This is where it'd be like long lines to get to see Star Wars. When I was a kid, I remember I almost died to go over there. It was, anyway, this is it. So, wake up, my friends, who needs to be awakened and realize that we live in a big lie created to us by the big liars and called actually big truth. It's the reality or the theory of inversion. Good is bad, bad is good, and you have to show enough enthusiasm in saying that. You can't just say, someone asks you, do you think the European Union, do you think that America, Canada, no, the Western world is the free world? And if you don't say that, if you don't approve of that and say yes, 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 enthusiastically enough, if you don't applaud that enthusiastically, you could be called a Putinist or whatever you're going to be called. That's the level we live in, my friends. And it's going to go worse than that, get worse than that, and it's not because of the ideology. It is because of the human nature. That's the level we got, and we can't make it better than this because we are created as we are with our limitation. But hey, you have to applaud, like in the Ceausescu's times. Be very enthusiastic when you say, yes, Ceausescu, you're the great. Like right now, if someone asks you about the Pride Month, if you don't celebrate that, let's say you don't answer, you're already bad. You have to celebrate it, you have to applaud it, and you be very, very enthusiastic about teaching your children that garbage. This is the free world for you. All right, my friends, thank you very much for being with me again today. And one thing for the Americans and people who hate America, if there are some people like that, and there are. This is one reason why, as bad, quote unquote, which I don't think it is, United States of America is, compared with this other side of the free world, those are fantastic. Those are fantastic. Yes, they ban their own shit over there, but they didn't get to the point where they ban it like this. In Ceausescu's time with Europa Libera, Radio Free Europe, and the other one, what was the name? Voce Americi, Voice of America. They were barred, they were banned, and they were trying to, how do you call it, jam them. You couldn't hear it was very bad. Now these guys ban it, and they tell you you're good for not listening, and it's for the goodness. Why? Another human being, remember, another human being tells you what you can hear. Start with that. Who are you to tell me that? You cannot do that. You should not have access to that. You should not have access to that. The government's job is to uphold the Constitution, if the Constitution is well done, and keep us safe from outside and internal threats. But that's with limitations. Internal threats, I could be considered an internal threat, or external right now. What are they going to do? Arrest me? I wouldn't be surprised. By the way, a big shout out for someone I met on my trip here, who recognized me, shook hands with me. Thank you for your courage to do that, especially in the context that we met. I met one person in the context that we met. He did not avoid, turn his head. He approached me and he asked me, and he called my name, and so he was not afraid in the context. That's very important, and in the location, two locations. Thank you. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.